With the addition of Jimmy Butler, how dangerous is this Warriors team in the West?
No more dangerous than they were yesterday. Let's call
You're not moved.
I'm not moved at all. This is not a mega deal. This is something that's gotten the Golden State Warriors about $19.3 million under the luxury tax, and it's saving them money. It's a business deal.
When the Golden State Warriors traded for Jimmy Butler, most people had doubts. Many said the team was too old, Butler cost too much, and they wouldn't get far. But then something surprising happened. After bringing in Butler, the Warriors went on a strong 23-8 run. They ranked 8th in offense, 1st in defense, and 3rd in overall performance, right behind only the Celtics and Thunder, the last two NBA champs. They even knocked out the Houston Rockets in the first round of the playoffs. Unfortunately, their run ended after Steph Curry got injured. Still, before that injury, Golden State was one of the top teams in the league, something nobody saw coming. And yet, heading into this new season, people are once again doubting Steph and Jimmy. Now, let's be honest, the Warriors haven't had an ideal offseason. In fact, they've barely made any moves at all, and no, their roster isn't perfect. But don't count them out just yet. Now, I'm not saying the Warriors have a perfect setup, but I do think people are seriously underestimating how good Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler were together last season, and how much better they could be with more time to gel. Yes, even if that bonding starts on the golf course. But jokes aside, here's why I still believe in this team despite a quiet offseason. Steph Curry. In the final 30 games, after Butler joined, Steph looked re-energized. You could tell the pressure was off. He had more space to move, more freedom on the court. And it showed in his numbers. He averaged 27 points, 5.5 assists, and 4.5 rebounds per game. And even better, he shot an elite 47% from the field, 41% from 3, and 92% from the line. Then came the playoffs. In the first round against the tough Houston defense featuring guys like Thompson, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, and others, Steph lit them up. They couldn't slow him down at all. He was clearly the best player in that series. And even in the brief time we saw him play against Minnesota before the injury, he looked ready to dominate again. The version of Steph Curry we saw after the Jimmy Butler trade, that was the best he's looked since the 2020 finals. And we all know how dominant he was back then. What changed was simple. The pressure was finally off. And not just in theory, on the court, too. Steph didn't have to carry the offense on every play. He wasn't stuck trying to create something out of nothing at the start or end of every shot clock. He finally had room to breathe and move. Jimmy gave him that. Now there was someone else who could take the lead when needed. That freed up Steph to play more naturally, and as a result, both of them looked sharper. Even the role players stepped up. The team just clicked better overall. It might have been just one trade, but Jimmy's impact went far beyond the numbers. And that's exactly what we need to take a closer look how he changed the team in ways you won't find on a stat sheet.
Technology is incredible. I mean, it's how you and I are connecting right now. It has never been more accessible, but as great as that is, it also means your data has never been more accessible either. And there has never been a higher chance of your data being leaked or sold, resulting in a number of risks, from being doxxed to harassed, or worst case, stolen from. That is where today's sponsor, Delete Me, can help, as they go through and do the work so you don't have to, removing your data from hundreds of different data brokers online and helping to protect you from those risks, as they've already done for me, as you can see, analyzing 357 different listings in just a week to help keep my data safe, and they will continue to do that to help protect me from online threats. And they can do the same for you with 20% off Delete Me consumer plans when you go to joindeleteme.com/7man and use promo code 7man. That's joindeleteme.com/7man, code 7.
Technology is amazing. It's how you and I are able to connect right now. And it's never been more available or easy to use. But with that convenience comes a real downside. Your personal data is also more exposed than ever. There's a growing risk of your information being leaked or sold. That can lead to anything from spam and harassment to serious issues like identity theft. That's where today's sponsor, Delete Me, comes in. They take the hassle off your hands by removing your personal data from hundreds of online data brokers. They've done it for me, and they can do it for you too, in just 1 week. They reviewed 357 listings with my information, and they'll keep monitoring it to make sure I stay protected. But while those numbers are impressive, they don't compare to the real impact Jimmy Butler had on both ends of the court. I've already talked about how he helped Steph Curry on offense, his passing, clutch shot making, even his screen setting and rolling, but defensively, that's where he really elevated this team. After Butler joined, the Warriors became the #1 defense in the league. With Jimmy Butler on the floor, the Warriors became the best defensive team in the league. And it's no mystery why when you pair two of the smartest defenders of this era, Jimmy and Draymond Green, you get something special. Take a look at this play. Jimmy and Draymond pressure McDaniels to kick the ball out to Reeves. The ball swings to Alexander Walker. Spencer closes out. Draymond steps up. And Jimmy, always aware, anticipates the lob and shuts it down. Or this other sequence, Pods aggressively defends Desmond Bane. Then Jimmy rotates to cover Jaren Jackson Jr. The second Jackson makes a move, Jimmy's right there. That's the magic of Butler's defense. He's always 1, 2, even 3 steps ahead. He sees plays before they happen. And when you combine that kind of IQ with the leadership he and Draymond bring, it creates a championship-level defense. Even Steve Kerr said Jimmy and Draymond reminded him of Pippen and Jordan on the defensive. And Dan, that's high praise. This is why I still believe in the Warriors next season. Sure, the offseason has been quiet, maybe not as active as we'd like. But when you have the best shooter and point guard ever in Steph Curry, and you surround him with an elite defense like this, you've got a team that can still win big. There's one more player who deserves more attention heading into next season, and that's Moses Moody. He hasn't been talked about much this offseason, but he fits perfectly into the Warriors' defensive system now. I get it, some fans were disappointed with how he looked in the playoffs, but keep in mind, he was injured. He ended up getting surgery right after the season. Before that, once he became a starter, Moody was one of the most dependable players on the team, averaging 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.5 assists per game. Not eye-popping numbers, but he also shot nearly 40% from 3, and defensively, he played a key role, while Draymond and Jimmy handled the high IQ, off-ball stuff. Moody brought that on-ball pressure with his length, quickness, and agility. He fought through screens, disrupted passing lanes, and helped make that defense elite. He may not have the flashy upside of someone like Kuminga, but Moody is steady, and that matters. If the Warriors keep him, he's got starter potential for the next 10 years. You can count on him. Another reliable piece despite all the unfair criticism he's received is Brandon Podziemski. He was also playing through injury during the playoffs, but after returning on January 22nd, he quietly turned things around in a big way. From that point on, Pods averaged 15 points, over 5 rebounds, and more than 3.5 assists per game, while shooting 41% from 3 on 6 attempts per night and doing it efficiently from the field and free throw line too. He went from being labeled the worst player ever early in the season to becoming a strong contributor. He deserves credit for that. I've honestly never seen a player get called trash as much as Brandon Podziemski, especially for someone who just had a great rookie season and followed it up with solid production. It's no coincidence that a guy who makes smart plays, hits big shots, rebounds, passes, and defends well always seems to help his team win. Sure, he's not perfect, no young player is. But when he's on the court with Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler breaking down defenses, Pods thrives. He knows how to read the game. He can attack off the dribble, knock down open threes, and act as a secondary or even third ball handler when needed. The key is, he doesn't try to do too much, and that's what makes him so valuable. He's a fantastic role player, and the truth is, he's only going to get better next season. Now, I get it, the Warriors haven't had a busy offseason. It's been quiet. But let's not act like we didn't just watch them play 35 games of high-level basketball after adding Jimmy Butler. They were one of the top teams in the league during that stretch. Some